Welcome to Mike's Organic Cafe. Today I'll show you an easier way to make a Halloween gingerbread house using minimal organic ingredients. Now I've got to tell you, even though we're using organic baking syrup and erythritol sugar substitute, we will be adding a lot, so it's going to be very sweet. But Halloween is only once a year, so you can give it to your kids to eat or just leave it as a decor for Halloween. Halloween haunted house ingredients: 1 cup organic baker's syrup made from monk fruit sweetener, 1.5 cups light or dark brown erythritol sugar substitute, 1.25 cups unsalted butter, it's about 250 grams, 9 cups unbleached white baker's flour. Keep in mind, this is a lot of flour, but we've got to make the walls and roof. You can even do a garage or 2-story roof, but I'll show you a single story one. You can let your imagination run wild with the amount of ideas. Half a teaspoon of sea salt, 2 tablespoons cinnamon powder, 1 tablespoon ginger powder, 1 tablespoon ground cloves, and for the icing, cream, monk fruit sweetener, sugar substitute, or finely blended white or brown erythritol, and food colorings black, purple, blue, green, pink, red, orange. Step 1. In a dough mixer bowl with the dough attachment, combine 9 cups all-purpose flour, half a teaspoon salt, 2 tablespoons ground cinnamon, 1 tablespoon ground ginger, and 1 tablespoon ground cloves on low speed. If it's stuck on the sides, use a wooden spoon to center it. Step 2. Now the butter should be room temperature, so it's easy to combine with the sweetener and syrup. Grab a separate bowl and add the syrup, sweetener and butter. Then with a metal spatula, squishing the butter a bit, then using the whisk to combine the ingredients until they make a creamy texture. Then I realized, why am I doing it the hard way when I have an electric egg beater to make my job easier? Silly me. Step 3. Then pour onto the flour in the dough mixer and turn it on low to make a smooth dough. I had to add around a cup of water to make it a dough. There's too much flour, which I should have separated into 2 and done half at a time. But my mistake is your fix, so you can learn from my stupidity. You can see the dough is starting to form, but the mixer is overfilled, so again, separate the dough mix into 2 before you put in the butter mix. Just take out half the dough and pour half the butter mix in. You can eyeball it, it's fine. Then add the leftover half of the dough to the leftover butter mix. Combine the first batch, remove it, placing it on a cling wrap, then combine the second batch and do the same. Step 4. Once combined, place a cling wrap on the workspace, then squish together 1 ball of dough at a time. I'll go 5 balls, then divide them into 2, then wrapped each one individually and packed it more tight. Now make sure they're covered in cling wrap and let them rest for 30 minutes at room temperature. Don't skip this step, the dough needs to relax so it's easy to roll. And when you knead the dough and it gets tough, leave it to relax again to loosen up so it's soft. There's plenty of dough, so just set it aside and work on another piece. Step 5. While we wait, get your utensils ready. So grab a ruler and a knife to measure and cut all the pieces of the spooky house, and flat baking trays. Then heat the oven to 350 Fahrenheit or 180 Celsius. Roll out the dough a 1/4 inch thick on a bench in a rectangle shape like this. Then cut the sheets of parchment paper scrunched up to fit your baking pans. Edgeless pans or those with only one edge are best, but it's fine, you can do 2 or 3 or even 4 at a time. As you can see, my one didn't turn out rectangular, but no matter, it's enough for 2 walls. Just keep kneading until it's thin enough. It will expand and inflate while baking, so the walls will be lighter and easier to stand and cement together. Step 6. Now grab the ruler and measure the height and width of the walls, then cut out 3 pieces close to similar size. If you have to cut the edges, creating a rectangle to make it easier to measure, do so. I got 2 walls out of this one. Yes, it's easier if you already have the molds to cut the shapes out, but I gotta free cut it and go with my gut. Repeat the process, then place a wall and trace the cuts with a knife. It makes it so much easier than measuring. Then measure the center of the 3rd piece and cut in half to make the side walls. Step 7. Knead more dough again and make a base piece and a roof piece, adding 1 centimeter to the border. Then cut out the windows and a door frame on one of the house walls. Then, with spare dough, place the windows and door frame, cutting it out 1 cm thicker around the border. This will be for later to attach to the back of the holes and glue with icing so the colour of the door and window sits flush with the walls. I think it looks better, but you can skip this step. Step 8. Transfer the wall and roof cuts and spare pieces to the baking trays and bake for 12 to 15 minutes or until pieces are lightly browned around the edges. Step 9. Here are the pieces. They've been cooling for more than an hour. Be sure to refrigerate them. I left mine on the bench. Now for the house assembly. First, prepare the black colour icing cement by combining 1 tub of cream, which is 200 grams, monk fruit sweetener and black food colouring. So you can use that as the wall and roof cement to hold them together. The more colour you squirt, the darker it is. Then place the pieces how they will fit together. My pieces were off shapes. I thought it would look better for a Halloween house, and it does, but it's a little harder to put together without making a bit of a mess. But that's life. Once I get it done, it'll be worth the trouble. I used the wrong attachment, but ended up finding the proper whisk attachment, so don't use the one I did. Make sure it's the whisk. You want the mixture to be thick and pasty, so we can apply it like a filler. Step 10. Grab a piping bag with a medium-sized nozzle to squirt out fat lines and fill it with the cement mixture. Step 11. We're ready to assemble. Begin with the front wall with the cutouts of the door and the windows. Turn it over and grab the small covering pieces, then squirt cement around the outside of the window and door holes, then place the coverings onto the cement. Grab a small spoon and gently push the cement onto the edges to make them stick more, then place the piece in the fridge on its own. Step 12. This is the difficult part because, like I said, my pieces weren't the right shapes, but the trick is to put more cement than you need, so don't be shy. The rough parts still make the house look good, and we haven't even decorated the house yet. Trust me, it'll look nice and scary. Start with the back wall. Place a line of cement onto the base piece, then squish the base of the back wall onto it and hold for a few seconds to make sure it's stuck on. Then with a small spoon, scrape the sides of the cement toward the wall. This will act as extra strength to keep the wall standing. Step 13. Now for the side walls. Squirt a line of cement on each side of the base piece, then on the side of the wall that's going to hold the back wall, then hold for a few seconds, then use a spoon to gently scrape the cement toward the edge of the wall from the bottom and the rear both sides. Take your time. The process took me a while, but I eventually got it done. You will too. Once you assemble the back wall and side wall pieces, place them on a tray gently and put it in the fridge, carefully. Step 14. The icing should be a bit hard by now, so grab the pieces out of the fridge and assemble them carefully. Starting with the front wall, squirt cement on the joining walls, then the base piece, and put extra cement on the bottom corners of the front wall. Then attach it carefully to the other pieces to form the square. Now reinforce the side walls with another layer of cement and any holes that you feel need to be hardened, because after all this effort, we don't want the thing collapsing. And the cement color adds a nice touch. Now squirt cement on the roof and place it carefully, putting a little pressure on it to spread the cement so it sticks nicely. Then back in the fridge for a few hours to let it harden. Or at least we can take a break now. Step 15. While they're in the fridge, combine your decorative icing colorings. Windows and door can be red. My door fell off, but it makes it look like an abandoned hut. Then add other plastic spooky decorations to fill the area, like an eyeball in each window. Mix together cream with monk fruit icing sugar to get a white color. Then put half in one piping bag. Then squirt red food coloring into the half left over in the dough mixer and mix it until it becomes red, then put that in a second piping bag. Here's my creation. It looks like the house grew a face with spiders for hair. Enjoy an organic Halloween this year and be seeing you.